Hey, everybody, welcome to the Agency Side Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Levinson, and I'm excited today to be here with Giselle Elsom, who is the managing director of Truffle Social, a really great social first social media agency with roots in New York and London. Thanks so much for being here today, Giselle.
No worries. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, my first question for you is just so the viewers can get an understanding about what you guys do at Truffle. Maybe you can just give us a brief intro on what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, definitely. So, as you said, we're a social first agency. So, everything we do is with social media at mind. We do all full social strategy, social media management, content creation, paid social. But essentially, we always start off with a strategy so we can figure out exactly what each client needs because it is all completely different because there's a million platforms now and they're ever growing. So yeah, essentially we do everything that is social media focused and social first for all our clients.
Awesome, very cool. And in terms of your own personal story, how did you get into this particular play in this particular space? I was looking at your LinkedIn page, and I had noticed that you sort of you worked a lot in this space. But you kind of gone freelance for a while, and then you've really seemed to have spread your wings here. How did this all come to be?
Yeah, well, I started off working I actually went to music university to
Really?
start with. Yeah, I actually went to university and did music and production. So very different. But actually, I really enjoyed the marketing side of things of a musician. So a lot of the time I was in a band at uni and I would want to sort out all the social side of things. I'd try and do like marketing of how we could get more gigs. And I kind of really enjoyed that aspect of it. So I knew it was something I was going to kind of want to progress in. I then worked at a PR agency for a while, went into influencer marketing, and then decided to take myself off to be trained in paid social and performance metrics. So I went and did that for a little while, and I was practicing that whilst doing account direction freelance as well for quite a few different agencies and brands. I did some stuff in LA as well for that and New York, so I was working all hours. And then after that, I very much wanted to go full time again. And then I literally bumped into Ellie, who is the CEO of Truffle, in the lift. There was a position going at that company, so I went ahead and interviewed for them.
So you met in a lift just coincidentally and started to,
Yeah.
to just talk. And how did that like turn
Well,
into
the
a job?
Yeah, so I actually one of the companies I was freelancing for was in the same building that her office was in, and I saw their ad go live, and I was like, "Oh, that looks really cool! Like, I'd love to do that." I'm kind of looking to go back into full time, and it's my account director role that I'd been doing quite a long time. And then I saw they were always like there was loads of girls like really glam. I was like running around looking exhausted and not so glam. And I saw them all in the lift and I was like, this must be them. And I had like followed Ellie on LinkedIn. And then I just sent her a quick email and was like, I'd love to, I'm literally a few floors above. I'd love to come down and like meet you for a coffee and to chat through the role. And we did. And then from that moment on, we've kind of been working together, which has been really lovely.
Wow. That is super cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I come with all my music stuff in the back. I come from a musical background as well, and sort of got into this particular space as well. It's kind of interesting, and PR. I feel like, well, for me, PR was great too because I got a lot of practice sort of pitching myself. So eventually, when it came to pitching other people and other people's ideas and other people's, I think that kind of gave me some ability there. But I'm curious, what kind of music have you been doing, and are you still performing or writing?
No, no time for performing these days. But yeah, I did a lot of it during uni. And then I worked on a couple of different DJ tracks, so just singing and songwriting for a lot of that. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just keep it as something almost as like a side thing to enjoy rather than it's tough out there for musicians and you have to really really want to do it to kind of push yourself forward for it. So I think I just had more of a love for it than really wanting to kind of push it as a career.
Yeah, I can
I
understand
knew that
that.
kind of marketing was more where I wanted to go.
Yeah, do you feel like it's sort of like a superpower for you though, because you are a creator of music as well. You can probably speak with creative people pretty well. And obviously there's such a parallel. There's some music is such a part of marketing, that I imagine that you still get to kind of flex some of those muscles there.
Yeah, I would say probably one of the main things I use is, I guess, the like stage presence. I learned a lot of that, a lot of confidence of like speaking, to like large groups of people because I would have been on stage like singing in front of loads of people. And when I was really young, that actually terrified me, like standing up and speaking to like a whole group of people. And now I'm very comfortable with doing it. Like we do a lot of conferences and there's still a bit of imposter syndrome that comes through sometimes when I'm like, I look very young and I'm like, oh God, all these people are staring at me like, who is she? But I think that that is natural and a lot of people do feel that. But I'd say like having music as a bit of a background and, doing like performances every week really did like build up my confidence in being able to stand on stage and kind of speak about stuff that we're actually experts in now with enough confidence and no stress anymore.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it takes guts to get up there on a stage and talk to people, and I can really relate to that as well. I mean, I get nervous pretty much doing everything, everything I do, even being on a
I
podcast. I'm
think
like, oh man,
everyone does.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean,
everyone has
it's
that.
yeah, it's good to have that sometimes it can work to your favor. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about you know, uh, obviously you guys work with a lot of really big brands. I was like looking at through the H&M and like Rolls Royce, Marriott. I was seeing a bunch of really cool things. I guess are there any maybe highlight campaigns or things that you've worked on recently that you would be interested in discussing?
Yeah, I guess most recently we've really tapped into AI content a lot more, which
Mm,
I'm sure everyone has said to you, kind of
yeah.
in our space. It's an exciting time for us as an agency because it means that we're able to kind of push the boundaries of our content a little bit more. I would also say a lot of the campaigns we're working on, like we work with Hotel Chocolat in the UK, who's also now in the US, we have helped them creatively kind of think outside the box a little bit when it comes to using AI or the kind of styles that they never would have thought to use before. And I think that that's kind of a bit of a pattern that we're seeing is brands used to be a little bit less comfortable with the idea of pushing themselves out there and being a bit more like challenging themselves and being a little bit more, I guess, out there with their content. And AI has almost shown them that they can be, and they kind of need to jump on that of being a little bit more experimental, I guess, with their content instead of just being safe. A lot of the big brands, like we see all the time, are doing that, and I think it's encouraging the smaller and the other ones to jump on as well and just like experiment a bit more. So I'd say like for us it's actually been a really, really exciting time at the moment because we're able to push those boundaries a little bit more, which we've been trying to do for years, but there's always been a lot of red tape with a lot of clients. But yeah, it feels like we've got a bit more freedom these days.
Yeah. And how do you see that? Do you How is the AI being used? Exactly. Is it just just creative prompting in GPT, or using any specific like how is that looking inside of in your company?
I guess it's more for like deeper levels of research. It's
Mm.
been really helpful for more from like a senior perspective, I would say, just so that we're able to kind of really dive into different aspects for different, we work across so many different industries like finance, food and beverage, hotels, like, so a lot of the time we have to be experts in all of these different spaces. So it is quite helpful in that sense where it's like we're able to have a deeper understanding of these brands without constantly going to the client and asking for more and more information on them. But from a creative perspective, we are coming up with the ideas ourselves creatively because that's a big part of what we love doing, and it is literally the whole point is to be creative ourselves, but then we're working with amazing designers and artists who we work with across all our brands that have got the ability to kind of bring stuff to life using artificial intelligence a little bit more. So we did a lovely piece of content, for instance, for Hotel Chocolat, which was their Christmas campaign, and it was bringing their Regent Street store alive, but it was like making it look like it was a whole store made of chocolate with all their products. And then that was kind of our like main tactic to use to basically sell through their Christmas range. So it's like thinking of different ways that we never would have been able to do, 5 years ago. And it's it's an exciting time for us to be able to kind of dive into it a little bit more and use AI, I guess, in the right way, and making sure we're setting boundaries with it as well.
Yeah, that is super fascinating. Yeah, it didn't even jump to my mind in the beginning of just having research on the client you're working with and getting quick information and being an expert in
Yeah.
quickly. Yeah, that's crazy how it's really working on both sides to sort of speed up the process and make everything come together. That's really fascinating. Is that one of the biggest changes that you've seen? Have there been other changes too in the industry since you first began in it outside of AI?
Gosh, there's been a lot. I think in social media, we are constantly chopping and changing, having to be strategic, you know, rethinking our entire strategy plans a lot for clients. Like I would say no day is ever the same, which I'm sure many people within our industry would say to you. We do something every morning where the whole team does trend search for 15 to 20 minutes. And that's not just, looking up TikTok trends. And that's definitely part of it. But a lot of it is also looking at social media news and what's changed overnight, like any algorithm changes or any shifts within the algorithm. And the team will look all of that up, add it to a Slack channel, and then they jump on a call at 9:30 in the morning and run through it all. So much has changed. It changes daily. And yeah, we just try and stay on top of it for our clients and also for ourselves to make sure that we are strategically planning everything in the most effective way for our clients because, we don't want to roll with something when we then hear that it's not really working and it's not going to work because the algorithm's changed. Yeah, our team are we put it in the diary as like a structured thing that everyone does every day just because it is really valuable to us at every single level.
What is, I guess, what is success to you in terms of like working with a client? Like if you have a successful, if you work for the brand and what you've done is successful, what does that mean to you?
I think it is a few different things. First of all, obviously, we set KPIs with them. And, we want to exceed on all of those. So we do our monthly reporting and make sure that we're exceeding on all those KPIs for our clients. So, that is a success metric in itself, but we will look at that and make sure we're monitoring that daily. So that's like one box ticked. I'd say like another really key one is like building those relationships with our clients and making sure that we have long partnerships with them. It's not a quick partnership. We want to build relationships with them. We want to strategically work with them over time where we can help them progress, whether it's, sales and they're like a new brand who's like started up, or whether they've been going for like 100 years and they want to relaunch or shift and target a new generation. We've got multiple different avenues and KPIs where we work with clients, and like you said, some very large clients that have got a full brand positioning set up and have been going for a very long time. And then some smaller ones that literally come to us and say, we have no idea what to do. This is our brand. We're launching in 2 months, like help. So I say like it's different, but that relationship building and really like nurturing our clients is a massive thing that I always like try and make sure the team are doing as well. I think it's really valuable to have real honest conversations with your clients. This isn't working. We need to shift this, or this is done so well. Let's put some paid social behind it and really reach a much larger audience with it. Just have very honest like conversations with clients on a daily basis. And that's, we try and do at Truffle. We're not like, we're quite a young team, and I think everyone is like really an expert on social and really loves it, and that's why they're working in it. And I think that does really come across because when you build those relationships, you're able to kind of like just jump in and chat to them, and everyone feels excited about it anyway because they enjoy working in what they're doing.
Yeah, I really love that relationship approach, especially it can get lost with the, with technology getting so, uh,
Yeah.
you know, moving so fast, and to not have that sort of transactional approach, and to have like the long-term relationship, and have that like be able to have honesty and but accountability, and all that stuff is really great. And I try to follow suit there as well. Are you very client facing? Is that a big part of your position?
Yeah, I would say slightly less now. I'm more kind of focused around running the business and new business as well. And then I would say our account director team, a senior account management team, are more client facing. They have the weekly calls, they're checking in with the clients. We've got WhatsApp groups with all our clients as well for any trending reactive content that needs to be done. So everyone in the team has constant communication with our clients, which sounds probably like a lot to some people, but I think in our industry, you kind of have to be honest. Like there's so much that chops and changes. I mean, look at TikTok for an example, with that going down in the US. Like we had to do totally new strategies for our clients that are based in the US to figure out what other platforms they could go on, or how we could reshift the content structures. And the team had to like get on that quickly, communicate with the clients, get that signed off as well. And then obviously it was fine, came back after 12 hours, but no work is wasted. But yeah, so I'd say like we have that really strong relationship with them, because there is always just so much to talk about in our industry, which is a blessing as well at the same time.
Yeah, man, that's like red alert. That's like for the recruiter, their LinkedIn page going down. That's like that seems pretty wild. Yeah. In terms of business development, I'm curious, do you guys focus on like just kind of getting a new business to come inbound just organically, or do you guys as an agency to have a real like outbound strategy? If you could speak to that at all. If you can't, that's okay as well.
No, that's fine. We actually are kind of looking at this at the moment because we do, touch wood, we're very lucky. We have a huge amount of inbounds because of we've been going for 15 years, and we were one of the first social agencies to ever start in London. So we've got that credibility. We've been going for a long time. Our SEO and like Google is really strong. We're number one on Google still. And I think that that helps. And so our inbounds have been very, very strong, and they do allow us to kind of just keep kind of the flow of new business. But we are going to be outreaching into other locations, which I can't really talk about. But we are kind of like, yeah, approaching other markets and other locations. That's been going really well, and that's been more of an outbound approach. And we've seen some great success from that already, which is exciting for this year. But yeah, we are very lucky. We do get a constant stream of inbounds. It's just about kind of like monitoring them. And yeah, that's the job in itself.
Yeah. Are you like, do you sort of pick and choose the work too sometimes? Like, is there sometimes where like a brand will come to you and be like, not really feeling this brand, and turn down business? Is that part of the gig too?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we do get a lot of inbounds that aren't quite relevant, or the budget's not quite right, or, they might be better off having a like smaller agency working for them. We definitely do. We have like a system where we score any inbound lead coming in, just to make sure that it's, going to be right for us, but also right for them. We don't want them to be like us to bring them on, and then us, the team, and all of us not feel passionate about working for it. Because there's kind of no point for them either.
Yeah, I love that approach, sort of having a scorecard and seeing if it's going to be a right fit for both
Yeah.
parties. Um, yeah, we do that too a little bit on the recruiting side of the coin, which we do in this creative space. We do that for people on their roles. We rate them based on how good their role is, and they're like, "Wait, you're giving us a C for this role?" I'm like, "Well, you're working with some other recruiters, and the pay isn't quite as high as it should be, and yeah, I don't know if I want to do this one." and
Yeah,
but
I think
sometimes,
it's important. Yeah, I think it's
yeah,
important. I mean, a lot of the time we have a call with people. Like I'm very like, I like to get on a call. I like to meet people face to face. I'm old school in that sense. So I think for me, if I was to have a call with every single person, or meet every single person for a coffee, it would just be, there's not enough hours. So we have to be like a little bit careful in that sense as well. And again, like I said, we don't want someone to take time out of their day to come and meet me for a coffee or jump on a call when we know it's not going to be quite right for them either.
yeah, I appreciate that. Is there like I guess just maybe this could be a personal thing too. Like, which is there any brands that you would be like it would be a dream for you to work with, that if you could partner with anybody that you'd be like, wow, I'd be really hip to doing this gig.
I mean, me personally, I absolutely love streetwear. So New Balance would be my absolute dream. But they are nailing this, their whole marketing, they're nailing it. So that's probably why I love them. But
Don't tell them
yeah,
that.
I'd
You got to
say
move in.
well, I've got many trainers. I'm definitely one of their prime candidates. But yeah, I would say New Balance, I just love how they remarketed themselves as well. They took like such a change and shift and came out of nowhere again into the streetwear scene. So yeah, I always find that really fascinating when brands kind of like relaunch themselves as like the cool brand again. So yeah, that would be a dream for me. We actually do a dream list in our new biz Excel, and the girls like feed in, they all put into it who their dream client would be, and then we sometimes like send off little campaign ideas to those clients, or if we ever get an inbound from any of them, then we would have that person working on the account. And it's just quite nice because it just means it's not, all coming from me or the CEO. It's coming from the whole team at every single level.
Yeah, I love that. The Dream 100. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Um, what's your style as a leader? I mean, I saw that you were like an account director, then sort of client service director. Now you're managing director. So you keep on moving up there. What is your like? What's your leadership style? What do you feel is like sort of defines your success there?
I would say hopefully everyone would agree, the team would agree with this. But I would say I'm quite nurturing when it comes to leading. I'm also very aware that I don't know everything. And I think that that's something I feel quite strongly about. We've got our team because they're all individually experts in what they do. I know I can go to, Navina and our team is amazing on insights and analytics. Like I can ask her and say, like, what's happening right now on this algorithm shift, like how can you explain this to me in quite a lot of detail, and she would just thoroughly go through it. And I think like being a leader is understanding that you don't know it all, and it's just like nurturing the people that do and learning from them as well. I think the learning and the educating never ends. I mean, especially in our industry, it's just continuously changing and shifting, as I said. So I think it's nurturing the team to make sure that they feel comfortable as well to approach you and to, go through things with you. And I hope that I do take that approach. I really enjoy doing like mentorships and things like that, which I've done quite a lot of, and just like any leadership talks and things like that, talking about, experience in the industry. We're an all female agency as well. So we're like, trying to kind of encourage the team and all the team members to feel powerful and strong enough to have a seat at the table wherever they go. And to just kind of raise their voices when needed, when they want to be heard. So I'd say like, yeah, I try and be very like open to listening to other people and just creating like a very like warm environment for the team to be in.
Yeah, I dig that. I got two little girls, so I love agency. That's super cool. Yeah, I think it is that sort of being nurturing can kind of bring out the most creativity in anybody too, because it's like you got to feel like creativity is it's like I don't know. I feel like you can be like if you're like really stifled and like you
Yeah.
can't you're not comfortable in like speaking your mind, and you're not going to do a good
No.
job if you feel like that. So it's good to have a good working environment like that. I can really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it like, it comes down to a lot of experience. I think like I try and explain to the team that in my experiences that I've learned over time, like there are many times when, I haven't been given the opportunity to like say what I want or give my like creative angle on something, but I would always just shout it forward and push it forward and push myself forward in the past. And I do feel like things are getting a little bit better in industries now, especially with like hierarchy and so on. So I guess everything I've learned in the past and where I've seen things I didn't like or changes that I would have made myself, like I've tried to now implement that in an agency so that, no one kind of feels like they have to go through certain things as well.
That's brilliant. What are some like challenges that you feel are happening in your industry right now? I guess maybe you could speak to some of those issues.
Yeah, I guess probably one of the big challenges is during COVID, a lot of small agencies popped up, and like freelance, smaller agencies popped up. And I guess like we very much separate ourselves from that because, how long we've been going and so on. But it's like it's educating people, like educating new business on the value of social media. It's still, and also the value of having the expertise of people that have been doing it for such a long time. And I think that probably every agency that's been going for a while feels this as well. There is like such a challenge to educate people, and there are, these larger companies now do have people that are a little bit more aware of social media and like why it's needed, and how it can actually support with your sales, with like really larger like marketing goals. Whereas I think, yeah, I'd say the challenges have been in the past just really trying to like educate people on why they need it before we've even started working with them is probably a really big challenge for us as an industry, because we're not, it's a service, it's not like a direct product. So it can be a lot harder.
What do you think the hesitancy can be? Maybe do they think they're just not going to get enough return on investment? Do they think it's going to be like? Do you think it's going to be too expensive? Do they just like not? Are they actively like too old school to be involved in social media, and they just say like, "Oh, that's not the new thing," or what sort of are the roadblocks there?
I guess it's a bit different. So sometimes, there'll be someone that's very senior in the company that's just very anti social media, might be a little bit older, but also just really not very anti it, doesn't really understand the ins and outs of it because they're not educated in it, which is also fine because, I guess our like biggest thing is just to really send over detailed ROI. And like, we'll say if you're doing a paid campaign, this is roughly the ROI that you will make, and this is what we estimate. So we try and make things as clear as possible when it comes to KPIs and results. And we are very, very results driven at Truffle. So I think that does help us in a little way because we've got the stats to back it up based on other campaigns that we've done. So, we'll share like 4 ad examples of other clients with the ROI percentage that we got for them. So we've got that to back us up, which obviously does help us in the bigger picture, but people are always going to question whether social media is actually helping with things, or I think it's still a very like new industry, even though we've been doing it 15 years. Like there's new platforms, like TikTok hasn't been around for 15 years. Like there's stuff that's been chopping and changing over so many years that it doesn't feel like a consistent industry that people, I guess, fully trust. And for us, TikTok Shop, for instance, we really pushed some clients to do that because we could just see like how strong the return was on some of our other clients and how well it was doing. And I think people, when like brands are a bit nervous, I think especially the ones that are, a little bit more senior, like haven't really dived into or don't even have TikTok themselves, like don't really understand it yet. And we're like, can you put majority of your marketing budget into this TikTok shop, please? I get it. And I think that's why I try and have those face-to-face conversations with people, explaining it, really like again nurture that relationship with the client so that they do understand like what we're trying to do is coming from a better place, because we always want to just get the best results for them. And then a lot of those clients now are very happy because they've seen a very large return on there. But not everyone is willing to kind of take the risk, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you can't put anybody in a box based on like their age or what their interests are, or anything like that. But I
No.
wonder if does it lend brands to being able to appeal to a bit of a younger audience? Do you think in general, if they're more open minded to those things, like
I
TikTok
think
and
it
all?
depends. I mean, TikTok is, every age is on there now, to be honest. And I think that that's kind of our argument is we're trying to say like, yes, your audience might be slightly older that's actually purchasing your product, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be on TikTok. And I think that that's what we're trying to say. Like the parenting community is massive on TikTok. Like parenting influencers are huge on there. And so we work with, like some really nice like luxury hotels, or we work with interior brands, and we would say, like, this is a prime target audience for them. They're on TikTok, they're searching videos all the time. We can just send them ads of, interiors or like homeware. Like, they're definitely going to be on there. That's like parenting, people within that age range is increasing on TikTok. So I think, and they're purchasing on there. So I think that that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to like back ourselves up as much as possible with the case studies and the creds to kind of showcase that it isn't just for a younger audience. There is such a large audience on there now. And essentially, if you want mass reach, that is the place for it.
Yeah. Wild. I feel like a dinosaur because I was like, remember when MySpace was like the Tom and his
I
thumbs
remember
up.
MySpace. That was the best. And Bebo. I loved Bebo, but I don't know what happened to
I never
that.
used that. I never used that, but for MySpace, I remember like for music, that was sort of like that time period was like the
That
peak
was
of
the one.
my success because it was just like, you would have a band page and it was like immediately like your music would pop up and you could like,
Yeah.
befriend people that were followers of bands or that you sounded like. Yeah. I mean, and people at that same point in time, that was such a lead gen tool for people to end up buying your music on like iTunes when they actually would buy it, even though it was only 99 cents, I'm dating
Yeah,
myself here,
I know.
but I felt that was a
No,
whole,
I remember. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean that was the start. It's just been ever growing, hasn't it? And I think that that's what's quite exciting, and I think it's what like keeps the team really excited as well. Is we literally never know. Like tomorrow could be a brand new platform that's everyone wants to be on, and then we have to be experts in it within 24 hours. I mean, we'll literally have clients straight away being like, "Should we be on this?" And we're like, "Oh my gosh, it's only just launched." So we're like quickly getting an understanding of what it is, like whether it's going to be beneficial for them. So yeah, I'd say it's like, I mean, I know our team find it pretty exciting, just that anything can happen, anything can change as well, and we just like have to be pretty agile for whatever's going to come our way.
do you have any inside knowledge of anything else that's coming out soon that's going to change the world that I should jump on?
No, but I will let you know. Hopefully, we'll hear about it
Find out.
first.
Send me a message because because I don't want to be the
Yeah,
last
I
the
will.
last to know.
Yeah, no,
When
definitely.
you guys do, I mean, you guys do social media management, social advertising, influencer management, strategy, content production. I even saw that you guys are doing like events. So you guys are doing like all kinds of stuff. I'm just kind of curious, like from what it looks like on your end. I guess with social media management, are you literally like, are you guys just like admins into the accounts and you're just full speed ahead getting approval, but you're sort of just really like, guys, I got it. Is that kind of how it looks?
Yeah, exactly. So we tend to start with a strategy just so that we're really clear on what the next 6 to 12 months essentially needs to look like. Obviously, things chop and change, but that's the guide. And then we'll have like, we'll do our copywriter, we'll make sure the copywriting and tone of voice and everything is all signed off, content pillars and everything signed off as well. And then we go ahead and do our photo shoots, our content creation shoots with our team, and then we build out the content calendars, and that way we just have a really seamless approach of our clients. They just jump onto a platform, they just write a comment if they want to change anything on it, and then or they just click approve, and then it all just goes out live, and then we optimize it once all the posts are live, and then we do 2 stories a day for majority of our clients, 2 or 3, and they'll be designed by our team as well and then carried out. Yeah, it is full social media management, and community management is a really big part of what we do as well. So community management and proactive engagement, so finding people to proactively engage with whilst doing their community management. So we have someone that solely does community management for our clients because it is such a big part of building organic engagement.
And so you have content creators in your that, or I'm sorry, like production people that are working for you guys, or
Yeah,
do you guys partner with other? You do.
yeah.
And what do you do if they're like in Los Angeles or or somewhere else? How does that work?
Yeah, so we work with people all over. We have our set people that we work with in London, and that's our kind of like London team that we work with. And then we have, so we have a videographer, photographer, and then UGC creator. So like someone that's a bit more like UGC focused, more iPhone style. And then in New York, we work with different content creators. LA, we've got a client based in Trinidad. So we're literally, yeah, globally, we've got people on the ground to kind of support, and they are more freelance content creators, but we've done work with them before and test shoots with them before to make sure we're happy with everything.
That's cool. And how long typically will it run? Like if you're taking over brands socials, like how long could that go for?
Well, I mean, we've been doing it for 6 years for some clients.
Mm.
Yeah, we're normally just consistently on like a rolling yearly contract. So yeah, we have like a 3 month minimum with clients just because we have a month to kind of do the shoots and so on and get everything together and strategy. But yeah, I'd say we're pretty consistent with just continuing with most. We do projects as well, which are strategy projects or might be a larger shoot, or we do events as well for like London Fashion Week, for instance, some big designers, and that will be like a project that's only for the period of London Fashion Week. So yeah, it's I'd say no client retainer is the same. Everyone is completely different. Everyone wants different platforms, different requirements. So yeah, we make everything bespoke for all clients.
That's crazy, giving you some chance to travel a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say, well, New York, we're there all the time because we've got client work over there. Trinidad, went to Trinidad to see the client last year and had to speak at their conference, which was amazing. That was an experience. They did the most amazing time for us. I spoke at their conference about their social strategy. And yeah, Dubai as well, travel over there and do bits over there. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of traveling, but it's more, I'd say they're more kind of senior people within the company travel a bit more. But yeah, there's always opportunities if people kind of put them forward.
Cool. Well, we just got a couple more minutes left, so maybe I'll give you a couple rapid fire questions. What's your favorite
Sure.
band? Your favorite artist, or do you have any favorite music
Yes, I
art?
do. I'd say Little Sims is probably my favorite artist. Um, Especially at the moment. I saw her at Glastonbury last year and she was just incredible. She was amazing. I love her like whole stage presence, how she doesn't have to have like a massive show performance on. She just like purely herself was so great. So yeah, I'd say she's one of my favorites. I'm a big festival goer. Glastonbury I've been going to since I was really young. So yeah, I think music's always been a massive part of my parents' life. So I've always been fully embedded in it, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, that's great. And any books that you really have enjoyed?
Yes, we're actually going to start a book club at Truffle because all of
Nice.
us are obsessed with reading, which says something about our lovely team. But yeah, we all love reading. So yeah, we're actually going to set up a book club and start sharing notes with each other. I actually read American Marriage, which was an amazing book recently, and I'm currently reading a lot of books around being a female leader and kind of seeing other people's experiences and how they've navigated it. Yeah, I'm learning a lot from different people. But yeah, I will have to give you a little update on our book club when it launches.
That's a great thing. I've tried to read more as of late. Wouldn't say I'm an avid reader, but I do find it much more relaxing at an evening time, especially like if I'm trying to go to bed and I can
Yeah.
just read something, just use my imagination and sort of like fall asleep. But if I get kind of pulled into this social media or the news or other things, sometimes I'm like, we'll be up late with my eyes wide open at the ceiling, being like, I shouldn't have watched that show, read that article.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
think
reading is
in
just,
I
yeah,
think in
sorry, go ahead.
London, like we're all traveling on the tube all the time. We're rushing around, on different trains, and I think like it's nice to have like a bit of a break. I know, every team member is on technology all the time. That's the nature of our industry. So I think it's like quite important to have those like tech breaks as well, and just to like read. I mean, I've always loved reading anyway, but I'm pleased the rest of the team are also really interested in it and also enjoy taking that little, detox from social media every now and then.
Yeah, totally. I got to put my phone down. I'm getting like, I have to have like hand surgery next week. And it's just from like doing this all the time. I got to put it down and
Yeah,
experience like
take a break.
some, take a break from it. But it's a great thing. I mean, we wouldn't be talking if I wasn't excited about social media marketing and all this stuff. But I think balance is super important, and
Yeah,
I really
for
have
sure.
enjoyed speaking with you. Definitely, really, especially about like having strong relationships and not being so transactional. I thought that was a really interesting part of our conversation. I love that I love that you guys are female owned, that you guys are doing reading, a lot of really cool stuff that you guys are doing over there. And
Right.
yeah, thanks so much for speaking with me today and offering some insights.
No
And
worries.
I'm sure the community will be super excited.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been great. Been great
Awesome,
chatting to you.
Giselle.
Thanks.
Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.